Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about this piece and my inspiration behind it. Sound good? I don't even know where to really start with this, to be quite frank. Like a lot of my paintings are done through channeling, and a lot of my paintings are done when I can't seem to articulate in words what it is that I want to express. So sometimes I have a blank canvas and then I just allow my intuition to kind of guide me into painting what wants to come through. And it's only until later that when I look back at my painting that I realize that there's a significant meaning to them. This, I'm going to go in a little bit of detail about what inspired me to make this piece. I don't even think I have a name for this painting. Sloth pile? Anywho. So here is a painting I did maybe just last year. It's like a bunch of little sloths, little plush dolls, just kind of piled on top of one another. Very colorful, very bright. It is one of my favorite pieces. So at the time of when I was painting that specific painting, that was one of the very first paintings I've done in a long time, a big canvas like that. And at the time, I removed myself from toxic environments, toxic people, or people that were just not for me. Anytime you're in an environment where you feel like you're walking on eggshells, or you can't really fully relax or be yourself, or you feel like you're constantly being judged or criticized or looked down upon, it's like you feel like you can't really breathe. Like no matter what you do, no one has your back, or you feel like no matter what you say, no one's gonna hear you, or they might even, worse yet, gaslight you, right? Into thinking that it's just in your head. It's not. There became a point in my life where I just finally had to make the choice where I cannot be inauthentic anymore. I cannot be in spaces where I can't be myself anymore. A lot of times people feel or see that their behavior is normal, and from my perspective, I see it as unhealthy. And the times of people not taking accountability or any self-reflection or working on themselves, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And so I got myself out of that type of situation where I had to always try to prove myself or convince people to believe me, or to just be the scapegoat where people just blame and projected all of their anger or insecurities. It's just I couldn't do it anymore, okay? So I walked away from that type of environment, and I was just this was the first time I was finally able to be away from everyone, where I can finally be in my own energy. Mind you, I was also no longer renting places that had misogynistic, terrible, low vibe people. And I know that is a privilege. Not everybody has that privilege. And I understand that. You got to do what you got to do. But I've been very fortunate to be able to finally have a place of my own where there is nobody around, no energetic interference around. It was just me and spirit. And I was able to finally rest. I was finally able to feel safe in my own skin. And here's another thing too. I didn't realize this at the time, but when you're renting in a space or sharing a space with someone, I would always make sure that anytime I cooked anything, I would put all the appliances away. I would wash all the dishes, so I'd make sure that it was not inconveniencing other people. And I had no idea the impact that had on me in terms of never feeling completely safe in my own home. I never actually felt safe and free in my own living space. So I remember having my first place here where I'm like, okay, I don't have to wash dishes. I can leave them in the sink for a few days, or I can leave my appliances on the counter. Oh my gosh, right? I know it sounds stupid. I know it sounds silly, but that is such a huge impact. You don't even know that makes an impact on you until you don't have to do that anymore. So anyways, when I finally had my own space,
something happened where my nervous system, you know, looking back at it, I understand it more, but when I was going through it, I had no idea what was going on. I was sleeping so much. I felt so burnt out. It was like I would go to work, I'd come home and I would sleep for 5 hours, and I would wake up for an hour to eat and like shower, brush my teeth. I'd go to bed and I would start the next day again. And during that time, I had like no dreams, and that was really hard because dreams for me help rejuvenate me. I feel more energized when I have dreams. But now looking back, I can understand Spirit was kind of withholding that from me because they didn't want me to burn out in my sleep state in terms of like running around doing stuff in your dream state. So I constantly fell asleep all the time. I couldn't work out. I couldn't go for walks. I couldn't make like healthy meals for myself. I couldn't really do much of anything, and I didn't understand what the heck was going on. So I got really angry at Spirit. I got really mad because I thought to myself, this is the first time I'm finally in a space by myself, and I don't have any ounce of energy to do anything that I wanted to do, which was create, draw, paint, make videos, meditate even. I couldn't even do that. And I didn't understand it at the time until I started reading up on it more. And mind you, I'm not a doctor, so obviously don't take this as medical advice or anything. But from what I read for myself, what resonated with me was that when you're in environments where you're always on hypervigilance or like hyper alert, you're highly stressed all the time, you're walking on eggshells all the time, you're not really able to relax and be yourself. What happens is that your nervous system is constantly on high alert. So when you're finally out of that situation or out of that environment, it finally relaxes and your nervous system is resetting. So that is why you sleep as long as you do. And I felt like I slept for like a year. I felt like that was what happened to me for about a year. And now when I look at it, I'm just like, that makes complete sense to me, because I know that it's a toxic environment, but you're like, whatever, I'm over it. I'm ready to go and start something new. But your physical body, because it's been going through that for so long, since like you can even remember, you don't know any different until one day you wake up and you're like sleeping all the time. So when that happened, I realized that this was a time for rest. This was a time that I needed to rejuvenate and take care of myself, focus on my own energy to heal myself. So then I had the energy to finally start moving in the direction of what I prefer in my life. Because you can't just get from like highly tense, triggering environments to just like finally moving to something else. You wouldn't be able to process the difference. You'd just be go, go, go. You wouldn't actually be able to flow with life and understand that there's ebbs and flows in your life, and to trust that you are always supported and you're exactly where you need to be, even though it may not be exactly where you think in your head is best for you, when really Spirit always knows what's best for you. So I think during that time when I was drawing this or painting this, I was painting a stuffed animal, which is kind of like a stress relief toy where, people who have stuffed animals, sometimes they hold them because it calms them down, it comforts them. It's a comfort animal. I don't know what the word is, but there's like a word for it where your stuffed animals kind of comfort you and soothe you. So I drew a bunch of them. So clearly I was trying to like find a way to soothe myself. But sloths are very interesting because sloths to me represent like a specific animal that has the energy of taking your time. Okay, so I don't know if it was just like society's pressure or my own pressure in my own head, where I felt like I had to get shit done all the time or move forward with my life or be more productive, because sleeping for like a year did not feel very good to me. Like I felt like I wasn't doing enough. I felt like time was like going against me or whatever. So painting sloths told me that, you need to enjoy the process of your life unfolding. You need to enjoy the flow of your life, and you need to understand that everything is working out for you and that it's okay to rest. It's okay to rest and soothe yourself and take care of yourself. It's not always about go, go, go in this life. So that was a huge message. So when I look at that painting now, it was such a significant time in my life. And I'm so grateful to know the message, right? To understand that Spirit always had my back, even though I never really understood it. So that's kind of an example of a painting that I did and what it represents. Maybe I'll show another painting at some point. You know, obviously not all paintings always have a meaning. Sometimes you just are just wanting to just express yourself and to have fun. So I think with this video, perhaps I just wanted to let people know that if you're in that situation that was similar to mine, to not be so hard on yourself and to trust that if your body needs to rest, it needs to rest. There's a reason for it. And to trust that everything is happening the way that it is meant to, and that even though your mind may want something else, your body and also Spirit knows better for you, and to trust that they will always have your back and that you are loved. So with that being said, I hope this video helps, and thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, bye.